This podcast was edited and uploaded by Uncle Geeb Productions. Hey guys, and welcome everyone to the Uncle Geeb Podcast. I'm your host, Uncle Geeb, and with me is Host Strip Media Gaming. We record this podcast live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can listen to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, or anywhere you can find a podcast. You can also watch our video podcast over on youtube.com/DripGeeb. Drip, most recently, we've been a Tears of the Kingdom podcast. If you haven't noticed, like every episode we've done in the past, I don't know, month plus, it's been Tears of the Kingdom related. And guess what? Today's not that different, and we're going to be talking about it spoiler-free. Real quick, I'll just say this off the bat. It's going to be spoiler-free in terms of any story thing. So if you're worried about anything story-related, that's going to be, it's going to ruin your experience. We will not get into any of that, but we will talk about things like locations and the things that, are important, obviously, but we have to talk about something, right? We'll give you a little bit of our input as far as how we like the game, new mechanics, stuff like that. But again, no significant spoilers, so no need to click off for that stuff. But Drip, how are you doing? Have you left your Tears of the Kingdom bunker yet?
Not very much. Not very much. I mean, I've been in and out, trying to work, trying to keep the lights on here. Not doing a good job. Not gonna lie. Not doing a good job.
Blame you. Don't blame you.
Every single time something goes even slightly wrong with what I'm doing work, and I'm like, oh, I gotta do a video for these earbuds. Well, they're not charged. I gotta charge them, but what am I gonna do while they're charged? Oh, I know. I'll play Tears of the Kingdom. Perfect. And then I gotta 4 hours later, like, okay, I guess I could do this video now.
Right.
Dude, I don't know. I walk around. I went to the store and I'm looking at the fruit section. Like, I could put that on the end of an arrow. I could fuse that with something. I'm telling you, man, it's like it's taken over my life.
I'm not that bad. I'm not nearly that bad, but that's a bit ridiculous, man. I'm at the supermarket. I saw a
dragon fruit, and I was like, dude, how many hearts would that give me right now? Should I cook it or should I just eat it now? I don't know.
You should get a durian fruit. Try in real life. You should try, because there's durian in the game.
Those big giant things.
Nobody tell him what it is, because I know you're gonna tell him. Don't tell him. Drip, you should get durian fruit and try it on stream. That's what you should do.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll get some and we'll do it in the pre-show next week.
I'll just say it is fruit, and it's not like
it's gonna suck, isn't it?
It's not. I've heard that it tastes fine. Like, the taste is not the problem.
I don't know.
It's not at all the taste.
If you are putting me up to this,
there's no danger involved.
No, if you're putting me up to this, there's something.
Well,
there's something in there that I'm not gonna like.
You might want to just be outside when you do it for whatever reason or another.
It stinks. It smells bad.
I'm not gonna say one way or another.
That's it. It smells terrible. No, not bringing that in my house. No.
Anyway, Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, we've been playing it a lot. Drip, I think you said you're guesstimating because you can't see it. We can't see it until 10 days, but you're
honestly,
about 35 hours. That sounds about right.
I'd say 30. I might be selling myself a little short, but I haven't played. Yesterday, I only played a few hours. So, I don't know. And like I said, I've been actually trying to be a productive member of society as well, which that's not working. I mean, this game is like everything I hoped it would be and more. And at the same time, it's a bunch of stuff I said I didn't want. And the Nintendo was like, shut your mouth. You don't know what you want. I'll give you what you want. You just shut up and you take this and you're going to like it. And then I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. I do like that.
Dude, the amount of times I've said that on this podcast, it's like the amount of times I've said that Nintendo knows best, and Nintendo is going to give you what you want. You don't know what you want. Nintendo does. Now, obviously, there are things that I wanted that are missing from this game.
Yeah, and maybe
we'll talk about that later on. It actually might even happen next week. And quickly, guys, speaking of next week, let me bring this up real fast. So we have a mutual friend here. Drip introduced me to our good buddy, All Things Zelda, over on his account. You guys may or may not have seen videos of his already. He puts out videos. I did a
video. We did two videos, one on his channel, one on mine. It was about what was it about? Oh, it was our favorite Zelda moments, our top 10.
Oh, that's a good one.
It was good. It was very good. We had some really good ones on there. I don't know. I'll find it. I'll put it on my I'll put it on my community tab So if anybody wants to watch those, I'll post both of them.
Cool.
They were good. They were good. Well, it's like a
Cool.
2-part thing. But yeah, that was a while ago. It's like 2 years ago.
Yeah, so obviously you kept in touch with him, and he let us know that he's been a fan of our podcast. He listens at least on occasion, and he actually wanted to come on our podcast, and we're like, yeah, of course you could come on. So, and what better time to have him come on and talk about nothing but Tears of the Kingdom after its release. So we're going to have him on next Thursday live on this YouTube channel. And obviously for you audio listeners, you'll be able to get that on your feed, a few hours after the live stream is over, whether it's Friday morning
and
or
we were going to do this week, but I think all of us decided, like, we're not ready.
No,
we're not ready
to go. Yeah.
We did not. I did not. Okay, I did. I knew. But let's think about this. I just played through the main story of Breath of the Wild on stream.
Yeah.
2-hour intervals, and it was a 16-part thing. 15-part, 14-part. I don't know. I could have probably beat that a lot quicker. This is not that game.
No.
This is not that game. Like,
no, it's not.
This is... I mean, and I've been rushing to dungeons because I wanted to know. I wanted to know what that first dungeon was like, and I'm glad I did because that that first one. Ooh, man. Yeah. I've done 2 now, but that first one. Hang on.
You good? I believe you're talking about Rito, correct? We're not going to get
Rito.
Into spoilers,
I did what the story. They direct you there. Like,
yes, they do.
Know more about the story, but they do direct you there first. And I was like, the first time I played, I'm gonna beat this game more than once, obviously. But I decided this time I'm gonna kind of do what they say. So what I've been doing is going back to that person who told you that.
Yeah. And
when you talk to her, she's like, well, maybe this one's like the closest, so maybe you should go there after the first one. I was like, okay, well, I'll just go there. That's, she gave me a suggestion, so I'll just do that. I'm gonna keep doing that. I think through this playthrough.
Yes, I will. I will do the same.
I feel like that's probably the best way to go about it. Even though it's totally open. We can do whatever we want. It's just like Breath of the Wild. And I said I wanted more linear, but I think they fixed some of that issue where I was like, oh, we got to search out these memories. Like, which,
yeah.
I mean, we've still got that. And I don't know. I'm fine with it this time around. All the things that they did. That they took basically everything I said I didn't want. Everything I did not want. They said, well, we're keeping it, but we're changing it completely.
Yeah, let me address that. And again, no spoilers. We won't spoil anything. But
yeah.
So when there, it's not even a spoiler. I'm like trying to watch what I say here. But so there are memories in the game again, like there was Breath of the Wild. So it's very similar, but they did completely change it, which is weird to say. It's similar, but it's completely changed. It is though, because in Breath of the Wild, I'll just say this, because in Breath of the Wild, that you get there's they give you those pictures right in your camera,
and that's so
and you
hard to find.
You gotta look at the picture and go, okay, where in the world have I seen this scenery? And that sucks. It's really annoying. I wouldn't say hard. It's annoying to try to figure out.
It's too much to do.
Where that is. It's
want,
like
I'm not what am I? Columbo? Come on, I don't want to do this.
So
just in
this
where
game,
it's at.
In this game, basically all you got to do to find these new memories is use the towers in the game. And there's towers in Tears of the Kingdom. Use the towers, and you'll see once you get to the tower, you'll see a nice big view of the world when you're in the tower. And like you can that's how like the memories are that obvious now. You can see it from the sky. So like you basically just see where the memory is in the sky and then go there. And it's like that is a way better system.
Yeah, because it doesn't take forever
here's a picture,
to do.
Figure out where it's at in the world. Where this is like, hey, just get in the tower and then you can see the land and then you're gonna see where
and there's
that
what
memory is located.
12?
Well, 11.
11? Okay, and I've done
there's 18 total. There's 18 total like memory cutscenes.
Yeah,
for
and I've done 8.
But there's 11.
I'll tell you how fast you can do it because I'm doing them all right now. That's what I'm doing in the game right now. I've stopped everything else. I'm doing that. Unlocking towers and doing that. I'm kind of doing it at the same time. But last night I only played like an hour and a half. And I did, in that time, I got 8. And I played, what, an hour and a half maybe before this?
Yes.
And I'm at 8. No, 9. No, yeah, 9.
If you have the map, filled in, you can do it within an hour. You can knock them all out in an hour.
That's the problem. I still have 3 parts of the map. Well, and today I had that. That's what took me a majority of the time today, is going to the towers, trying to get up there, and then I got lost because one of them you needed to go in some freaking cave. Oh my god, I was so pissed. I couldn't find the entrance to the cave for like 30 minutes. And I mean the caves, like all the exploring and stuff, the new parts.
There's so much more to explore. Let me say how you feel
about this. Mm-hmm. Yes, there's so much more to explore. But let me ask you a question about the map itself.
Sure.
This is how do I want to word this? This is the same Hyrule. This is the same map, but this is not the same map.
So here's what I want to point out. When you look at the map in Breath of the Wild, I feel like it's more of a rectangular map.
See, I know you said that, but
I think it might be just the way that they deliver it to you in this game. I think they deliver it to you in a more zoomed out way. Maybe that's what it is. Because the map in Breath of the Wild is a square as well. Because here's the thing, the way they deliver you the map with the Sheikah Slate in Breath of the Wild, to me it feels like it's more rectangular. Whereas on this map in Tears of the Kingdom, it feels like it's a square. Now,
I think the actual size of it is the same. What I'm saying is, it's not the same map. It's not. There's so many different things in places.
You mean because they've changed things?
They've changed so much. There's so many different things. And here's the thing. Just the perspective that you have of the map from Breath of the Wild. I kind of want to go with just kind of where you start out, right? So you start out on the Great Plateau in Breath of the Wild, right?
Yes.
So your perspective and the way you perceive that map is from that point and then going outward, right?
Yeah.
Now this time, once you get down, you're basically starting in front of Hyrule Castle.
You're in the center of the map.
Right. So that really changes your entire perspective on how you take in this map. You know what I mean? Like where you start, like the first types of places you start going, like you start seeing stuff in a completely different light. Because you remember, like, you can't just walk through Hyrule Field in Breath of the Wild. You can't just walk through there. Yeah. I mean, if you're me, you can. That's a whole different story. But
sure.
The normal person can't just walk through there, and but it's totally different. Even when you walk through there, it's completely different. It feels different. It's wild, man. It's wild.
The feel. Let me say, the feel of the game overall is immediately apparent how different it is.
Yeah.
From the second you pop your cartridge in. From the second you pop it in, you hop into the game, it's immediately different. Like, it's hard to describe. You may have seen some video. If you haven't played the game yet, you probably have seen already people play the very beginning of the game.
Yeah,
it's immediately apparent what's different. and even when you're done that little area at the very beginning, and then you actually get to the Sky Islands, where that's the new Great Plateau. That's also not a secret. That's been out there for a while.
Nintendo's been talking about that since.
Yeah, when you get there, again, the game it's changed at that point from when you begin the game to where you get to the Sky Island. Obviously, it's completely different. You're now your basic level again. It's
Dude, how about that place though?
Sky Island,
the Great Sky Island. Wow,
it's incredible.
Impressive.
That's kind of what I'm getting at here is how different it feels. The game, it feels like a brand new game in the sky.
Yeah,
and then you get to Hyrule, and you're definitely more familiar. And then are we gonna get to what's below? Are we gonna get to that?
Yeah. I actually asked some people some questions about that today.
Yeah,
that is something Nintendo has talked about publicly, so we can talk about that.
So if you don't want to hear this part, it's not. I don't believe it's a spoiler. It's a key feature.
I have a way to do this.
Okay,
I have a way to do this.
Sure.
All right. If you're here watching and you don't want to hear about what's possibly a spoiler, you don't want to hear about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my hand up while we're talking about this. Okay. You can turn the volume down. Stay here. Don't leave. But I will hold my hand up, and when my hand goes down, we are done talking about it. So if you don't want to hear about it, do that. If you are on audio, I don't know. I'm sorry.
If you've played the game, if you played the game for 2.5 hours, you're gonna know this already. It's not a secret.
Yeah.
They didn't talk too much about it in promotional stuff.
Okay.
But,
So I'm holding my hand up now. So get out of here if you want to get out. Just turn the volume down. Don't leave.
Okay.
You can stay here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's not gonna help the audio people, but I think
John
it's funny.
Campia. Got that from John Campia. You're right, Adam.
So audio people, I really don't think it's a spoiler, but there is an entire map underneath of Hyrule that is the size of Hyrule. And once you get down there, you're gonna go there very early. Like I said a second ago, you're gonna get there very early in the game. Like I said, you can get there within the first 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours.
Well, as soon as you hit the ground.
As soon as you hit the ground, you can go. I mean, it's Breath of the Wild style.
Because I've been twice. I've been down. I haven't gone much yet, but I'll tell you where I did go. I went down there on Eventide Island. Holy shit.
God.
Holy shit, dude.
I haven't been there.
Okay, go do it, but go ready and make sure you have a bunch of hearts because, dude, oh my God. When you get down there,
Drip,
you basically get locked in. Like, you're done. You're there, you're not leaving.
I could say the same thing to you about when you go and try to do the forest. What's it called? The Lost Woods. The Lost Woods.
Okay.
The Lost Woods. There's also one of those holes right near the Lost Woods, and it's involved, and you need to be ready for that.
Okay.
As well. Basically, when you're going down and below anyway, you need to be ready. But there's early game stuff you need to do anyway to get some
of the
basic
enemies
features.
And stuff down there are like, man, they are scary down there. I've gone down a few times, but it's like I'm intimidated by what's down there, man.
Yeah. But anyway,
there's so much to deal with up here. It's like I don't even want to go down there and deal with that yet.
Drip, I think we're elaborating way too much on everything right now because we're saving that for next week, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's safe to put your hand down. But
all right, we're done.
Yeah, I think we're good. Right. We're good. Right, so no. Hi, welcome back, everybody. Hopefully you've come back to the stream here. But yeah, so that wasn't really a spoiler to me. But it's all about the feel of the game and how apparent the feel of the game has changed from Breath of the Wild to this game. They're vastly. We're not just saying this because we're Zelda homers or anything like that. And obviously we love the game. Clearly, it's just a cold hard fact of how different this game is than Breath of the Wild. They are absolutely different games. We knew it beforehand, but now we know.
Well, it's honestly even more than I thought it was going to be. Like I knew it was going to be different, but I was like, oh, it's the same map, this. And I'm like,
yeah,
it's the same layout of the map. That's about it. I mean, there's different stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
All the same stuff that's still there, memories, whatever. Koroks, they're different. There's new ways to do Koroks. There's new ways to do everything.
Yeah.
Dude, do you have rockets yet?
Do I have rockets? Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got them out of the machine so that you can actually use them whenever?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, the rocket shield is the most OP thing ever. Rocket shield.
You need enough energy. You need enough energy in your
I just
battery
eat the
cells.
things or whatever. Yeah. I just eat a bunch of them.
Well, yeah, you still need enough energy. I mean, whether you eat it yourself or you have it unlocked, you need the energy. But yeah, I don't know. Again, Drip, not specifics. let's say because we got
very cool.
There's so much, dude. You and I have talked on the phone a lot recently.
Oh, I know. There's so much.
There is just too much to gush over about all this game. That's next week, right? If you guys are here for gushing, that'll be next week with
one more thing. Oh, one more.
Yeah,
the spring shield, dude. The spring-loaded shield.
You're like a kid with a new toy.
So good, dude. It's so
fun.
As soon as somebody tries to hit you and you got your shield up there, like.
I haven't even done it yet. I've had a spring shield.
Man.
I had to drop it because there was a better shield I picked up for it. But
and then one more because this is great. So there's mine carts up on that first island, which you can do this with. But eventually you get carts for like the Zonai stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Attach one of those to a shield, and then you can surf on it, and you have a skateboard. You could just zoom around. It's got wheels, dude.
Yeah,
fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I want to talk more about it, but we will talk about it next week because I've actually completed a dungeon in the game, not doing what the game wanted me to do, by doing it completely my own way. And I can't wait to talk about that next week, but I'll tell you off stream too later.
Oh, I wonder, because I think I did I don't think I did the dungeon the way they wanted me to do it either.
Like I literally intentionally avoided what they wanted me to do and did it my own way, and it was successful. Almost
I did
speed,
too, actually.
Almost speed, if I may. It wasn't I did it slowly, but if I were to execute it more efficiently, that would have been like a speed run tactic. What I did, it's that kind of interesting.
Did you go?
No, we're not talking about it. You haven't even done this dungeon, I don't believe. So.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the first one.
No, not the first one. I finished the second.
Oh, yeah,
one
your
today.
second dungeon was different than mine.
That's right.
You went to Death Mountain, correct? That was
Yes.
your second?
That's right.
All right. Yeah, mine. I had to go check on my boy Sidon, man.
I'm gonna get to them last. I think that's what the game told me to do. Is that one last? I can't remember though. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm gonna do anyway. But let's move on, Drip. I got a. What the fuck are you doing? Oh, you're grabbing a drink. Okay.
I'm getting a peach.
Just left for a moment. Showed us your ass. It's beautiful.
Hey, I mean.
Drip, I was gonna do this earlier, but let me just quickly. I'll do this fast. So I'm gonna get. It's time for story time, everybody. I have a nice, fun story. Yeah. So I actually was able to pick up with Mrs. Geeb and I both were able to pick up the collector's edition as well as the Pro Controller on release day, which was just what an experience that was. We can talk about that for just a second. Like,
I was pissed. I was gonna quit the podcast.
No. Like, I want to talk to you about because like Nintendo Life has talked about it. They made a video about it. Xeon going and doing his midnight release at his GameStop.
Yeah.
Like the revitalization of the midnight release parties and stuff like that. We actually did not do the part because you were streaming, so we hung out, or in Discord, so we hung out with you for a while. But my GameStop was doing a Zelda cosplay party an hour before the thing. We didn't go, but I was a little intrigued. I'm like, I want to see what this is about.
I got a Link costume right upstairs. I'd have been out there if I'd have known that was
when I got there, we were in Zone 1, so we were the first to get in line for our people. But there was already a ton of people. Everyone who was going to buy the game was basically already there. Everyone was dressed up in a Zelda costume. I saw someone as a Korok, as like you name it, they were everything. It was awesome. But that whole experience was great to be able to get in line for the game. We haven't done that in last time I did that was for Call of Duty back in I was
gonna say I thought you were gonna say Halo.
9. No, I never did. I did that for Halo, but not on midnight. I did it for the next day. I got it like the next day. But yeah, I mean, it just an incredible experience that was and everything. But I want to share. It was just meant to be everybody. I want to tell you how I ended up with the collector's edition and the Pro Controller. So I get there, and I've already talked about how convoluted their system was. I'm not going to go over that again. I'll save you the pain that was. But essentially, you had to be at GameStop 2 different times. So I got there early in the day, and they were like, all right, so whoever's here, we have these tickets, and if you just say, whoever's first in line gets first dibs on what we have. So the lady, there was just 3 of us at that point. So the first 2 ladies were in front of me, and they're like, yep, we'll take collection editions each. So there was 2 off the board right there. And then me, I was like, I also want a collection edition. So I got that. That's what we were there. That's what I was there for. Yeah. As the lady who was giving us those tickets, the GameStop employee, was walking away, I happened to mention, like, hey, do you happen to have any Pro Controllers in store? I was thinking that there was absolutely no chance of having any Pro Controllers. I'm like, there's no way they got them. Those pre-orders were non-existent. Are they really going to have any on release day? Maybe. I am the 3rd person in line, so that I would have, if there would be any, I would be able to get one. So, and she said, you know what? We happen to have one. Do you want it?
Yeah.
I was at that point, my body just collapsed inside, and I just was like, yes, I want it. And she handed me the gold ticket for the Pro Controller. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, you're telling me you have one. There is only one Pro Controller that you're selling today in person, and I'm going to have it. So my first thought is that there was one cancellation for a pre-order because there's no way that they had just one shipped.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, so I was just the lucky person who was in the right place at the right time, who asked, hey, do you have any Pro Controllers? Well, it just so happened we had a canceled pre-order, and there is one. And she handed me the golden ticket. I got my collection edition ticket and the Pro Controller one. We at that point we had waited a little bit more time. We checked out. I actually paid for them then around 3:00 that day. And then they're like, okay, we'll see you guys tonight, 11 p.m. Central for midnight release. And then we obviously, Mrs. Geeb and I went back midnight release after hanging out with you in Discord, and we got the collection edition and the Pro Controller, and it was just what a feeling. Like I said a second ago, that camaraderie of everyone loving Zelda in the same room together, like the hype that was built in the, it was different. It was a little weird because I don't know. I think Midwest people are kind of weird. If I'm being honest, that's not a surprise thing to say. A little bit weird because their energy is weird, but that's okay. It doesn't match my energy, but it was still fun.
You got weird energy.
I
love you, but your energy's weird as fuck.
Yeah. So yeah, but it was awesome. I just couldn't I couldn't wait to share that with you guys. Like I was able to get the only one available.
Yeah, that is cool.
In release day.
I'm jealous, and I wanted to quit the podcast when you told me. But I'm glad you got it.
Yeah. It's beautiful, by the way. It's beautiful. I'm totally satisfied with it. It's great. I played every second of minus like an hour or two of handheld. I played every hour of it with that.
Yeah, I've been. How much have you played handheld? I do want to know that.
I literally like an hour in bed. It
still looks pretty good handheld. I mean,
looks great handheld. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I think it looks honestly handheld. I think it looks a little bit better than Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, not surprising. Not surprising. I mean,
it's not like miles better, but like
no.
I noticed something in Breath of the Wild that changes, and it's really apparent in Breath of the Wild. When you have I'll just use this shield as an example because that's when I always notice it. When you have the Hylian shield on your back and you're in handheld, it doesn't look the same. It doesn't have the same glisten when you move as it does when you have it docked. But in this game, the shields do have that when you're playing handheld. That you can tell it has that like that lighting effect that's still there that's not taken away handheld. But so that's cool. I did notice that.
Well, actually, we could the quickest of quick. Let's talk about this. Did you hear about the engine of this game and how from a like a code standpoint, this game is completely different than Breath of the Wild?
I did hear a little. I saw a few things about that, and honestly, I've been in my cave playing, so I haven't really looked at a whole lot of other things except the screen of my Switch. I saw that was the thing, and I wanted to look into it, but then I probably ran into a Korok and had to go do that. So
we'll talk about it more next week, but I'll just bring up it now just for
that is interesting because I don't know anything about it yet.
It's the engine of the game. Apparently, Nintendo used the same engine for this game that they used for Splatoon 3.
Yeah.
And Switch Sports, which is really wild.
But do you remember what I told you about Switch Sports and what I said last week? I think Splatoon 3, they're the ones that use that upscaling technology.
FSR, yeah.
So that does make sense. That does make sense.
It's just weird to think about the if you look at the game as like a developer and like you look at the game in ones and zeros, it looks completely different than Breath of the Wild, but it feels almost identical, which is just kind of weird, man.
Yeah, there's a few things we talked about, man. I like that you can put the glider out quicker in this game. You know how I always do that. I always go down hills. I'm like, if you can just get that glider out, you can go so much faster down the hill. In this game, you can do it. Like on every single little incline, you can just pull the glider out.
Yeah, a little more snappy and responsive this game. But again, we'll get to all that
next week. Yeah,
you guys might be here for the next topic we're going to talk about. It's probably going to take up the rest of our time here. We alluded to it in the pre-show, guys. Drip and I were both wrong with the predictions only because we were underselling the game.
I had the right number.
Yeah. So if you didn't hear the news, Tears of the Kingdom sold 10 million copies in just 3 days. In just 3 days. The only game that comes close to that is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet last year. Apparently that game sold about 10% more than this game did in 3 days. But they both hit the 10 million mark.
Regardless, dude. So yeah, last week we were talking about it, and you were saying, okay, we were doing like the week thing. You said it'll be under. What'd you say? 7 million.
7.5 for a week.
A week.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and I was like, I want 10. I want to go 10 for the week. We both undersold hard. Yeah. We did 10 in 3 days. 3 days.
It's just insane. It's
Friday,
it's
Saturday, Sunday. And that's not okay. And that's not even like, just think about that, dude. We're not talking about, we talked about this earlier. Pokemon is the biggest franchise in the world. The biggest franchise in the world.
Yep.
And Zelda.
Not Nintendo.
Zelda. Just Zelda. Just Zelda. Just this one game from this one franchise, which is not anywhere close to the top of that of that mountain.
No.
Nobody's even close to the top of that mountain. Pokemon's so far up on that mountain. Everyone else is still, I mean, you know, they're still in the foot. They're looking way up. I mean, the next biggest thing's like Hello Kitty or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's not even close. Not even close. Zelda sold 10 million copies in 3 days. That's wild. And considering looking back at other Zelda games,
it's the fastest selling Zelda game of all time. It didn't
by a mile.
Well, no, it didn't beat Pokemon in terms of like I'm not sure exactly how that because it was enough to say that it was the fastest selling, but it wasn't enough to say that Pokemon sold more copies. So it's kind of I think it's just kind of weird how they put it. And it's kind of I think I was watching Kit and Krista and they kind of put it to where they, you know, it was right up there with Pokemon. It didn't quite surpass it, but it was basically just like, you know, marketing mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, but
you know,
God, dude, think about it.
Yeah,
like whether it passed Pokemon or not, it doesn't even matter.
No, it doesn't.
We're having the conversation that a Zelda game is selling on pace in the first 3 days with a Pokemon game.
Yeah,
like that in itself is wild. That's wild.
It's going to take some time to really kind of let that sink in, to be honest. Like because all of Nintendo's games they've ever put out, this game sold the most amount of copies in the least amount of time to this point. That's my understanding. And it's just like even if it's second to Pokemon, both of those were impressive releases. We talked about that when that came out last year.
Yeah.
That's all. It was also an insanely impressive release. So they're both. It doesn't matter if it's first or second. The point is, it sold an incredible amount, an impressive amount in a short amount of time, and no other Nintendo game can match it. No other Nintendo first-party game can match it. Pokemon aside, and that's what's not even close. And that's what's most insane about it.
Yeah, I mean, like before Breath of the Wild, let's just go back a little bit. Before Breath of the Wild, I know obviously Breath of the Wild got around 30 million now?
30 million now.
Okay. There weren't Switch units out there to sell the game like there are now. So we can't really talk about first week sales of Breath of the Wild, whatever.
I have one fun fact for you, Drip, before you go on about that. So about that, again, Kit and Krista, listen to their most recent YouTube video. They had said they worked at Nintendo. An impressive stat that a gaming industry that you strive for as like a company gaming industry is they had 100% attachment rate to Breath of the Wild, meaning every person who bought a Switch 100% of the time bought a copy of Breath of the Wild.
Well, and now we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
It's Breath of the Wild, snipper clips. Like, you don't have many choices in 2017
you had Odyssey. You had Odyssey and Odyssey
No, you didn't.
No, Odyssey came out after?
It was like way later. It was like September or something.
Oh, I did not
way
realize
later.
That.
Yeah.
Okay.
Way later. Yeah, you didn't have Odyssey then. No,
okay.
it was like I said, it was Breath of the Wild, snipper clips,
but
Fast
even still,
RMX,
yeah, it's but
Bomberman.
But dude,
Bomberman too.
but comprehend it, 100%, not 99, not 95, not 90, 100% attachment rate. That's that Breath of the Wild deserves all the respect because this is not like
dude,
there's plenty of people are going to take that to go as they're bashing Breath of the Wild or other people will bash Breath of the Wild because of these sales. It's a different time it was a different time in a different gaming market. The Switch had just come out, so obviously I think it was like 1.5 million,
and it did not have the traction that it has now. It was still, you have to remember what it was when it came out. It was still. Everyone questioned it.
Was it Coca Baby? Dude, I have a quote. I think it's from Coca Baby in our Discord, our community here. I can't remember what the exact quote was, but I'll try Coca Baby. I believe Coca Baby said, Breath of the Wild walked, so Tears of the Kingdom could fly. And I thought that was a beautiful quote because you do fly in the game, which is awesome. The paraglider in the sky.
That works.
In all aspects with gameplay, story, sales, everything. Breath of the Wild walked. Well, let's just say sprinted because that game did fantastic. It sprinted.
Yeah, it did great.
So Tears of the Kingdom could fly with wings. Incredible. An absolutely incredible thing we're witnessing right now.
I kind of want to bring it back to what type of momentum this is because this is something the Zelda franchise We have not seen this. Now, I know the whole Breath of the Wild thing, that was the big turning point, this and that. This is something special right here. What's happening right now, this is going to be something very interesting to watch going forward. It's going to be something very interesting to talk about years in the future when we see where the Zelda franchise actually goes after this. I want to have that conversation at some point too. We're not going to do that tonight, but I want to have that conversation too. Let's go back. Twilight Princess was, before Breath of the Wild, the best-selling Zelda game.
That's right.
Breath of the Wild eclipsed that. We didn't think this game could get there. I think this game might be able to get there, dude. After this 3 days with 10 million, I think it might be at 15 million by the end of this week and halfway to Breath of the Wild. I think it's very possible.
We could be right there, man. I think in 3 days, we're currently what? We're currently 6 days after the release of the game.
Yeah, tomorrow would be,
there's 3 extra days. We haven't, these numbers, the 10 million that we see here is not even, it doesn't do it justice because that was before the real hype, you know? Like the real.
That's what I want to talk about.
From the rest of the gaming world.
That's what I want to talk about.
These are just the 10 million is going to consist of 99.9% of these Zelda fans.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And the rest of the sales that come after, is going to be all the rest of the people who saw this game blow up. And go ahead. Go for it.
This is what I want to talk about. This game right now has the Animal Crossing effect going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, hear me out on this because I told you a little bit about this earlier, but I want to get your opinion on it. I gave you a little piece of it earlier. I want to get your opinion on this. This game right now, the way that this is going, this is going how Animal Crossing New Horizons went. Now, it does not have the pandemic, and we all know that was a huge help. Everybody, we all know. Animal Crossing helped us through the pandemic.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Not that the game wasn't hyped. The game was hyped.
It was.
But it was the sales numbers were solely driven due to the fact that everybody's home and nothing to do. Let's just be honest.
Okay, but and then here's what happened. The internet took that game and brought it to another level.
Yes.
And people who maybe weren't going to play Animal Crossing, weren't interested. You know, you're home. You don't really have much to do. You keep seeing all this stuff on the internet about this game. Like, why not pick it up? You're home. Why not? That helped this game. If you look on, you can look on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. I don't give a fuck where you go on the internet right now. You are seeing Tears of the Kingdom everywhere. The hype for this game right now is insane. Now, I don't think it's going to last nearly as long as the Animal Crossing thing did. I don't know if it's going to be that level. I don't think it will. But I can tell you right now, the same thing is happening. And like you just said, all these things that we see with the sales going forward this week, Monday to Friday for the first week sales, that is coming from what people are seeing on the internet. Those are people who may not have played Breath of the Wild or people who didn't care about Zelda seeing all this crazy stuff. And it's all coming from these hilarious videos of people building all this random stuff. And it's hilarious. How many have I sent to you, Geeb?
I don't think you sent me any. I
did. I sent you the Freebird one.
I don't remember, dude. If you sent it to me that weekend, I was not
I made one. I'm on a boat. I'm on
a boat. Yeah. I did that one. I remember that one because you sent me. You've been tunnel brain. I've been tunnel brain just as much, man.
I know. All I'm saying is, this game has the potential to do crazy things because of what is happening online right now. The same thing happened with Animal Crossing. It was a cultural phenomenon. That's exactly what Animal Crossing was. This is happening. I don't think it'll last as long, but this game has the potential to do something very special for Zelda as a whole going forward. There are going to be so many more people interested in what the next thing is after this just because of the hype that has been built right now and what's happening right now. It's going to be really interesting to watch years from now and just see where this franchise goes because of what's happening in this moment. It's awesome. Zelda's my franchise, man. This is like, I don't know. I'm very excited about this. If you can't tell.
I know, like, you were first. Obviously, I'm never take that away from you, but like, I'm there too now.
Yeah, I know.
1,000,000%. There is no
awesome
franchise.
It's
There's
awesome
nothing.
to see Zelda doing, what Animal Crossing's doing, what Pokemon is doing. Zelda's doing it.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love it. I just love it. I'm very excited about it.
To think before Breath of the Wild that this franchise was on its way out if it didn't have a banger on its hands.
Yeah, Skyward Sword was fine. I mean, it did okay, but
let's go back to those sales numbers. So let's see what Skyward Sword did. And Skyward Sword, its initial release,
3.67
million.
So, I mean, and what did
What
was the okay? So Twilight Princess would have been before that. That was like the actual main line, not a remake and that was about 9 million.
Yes.
So that's a big fall off. It's a pretty big fall off.
Big fall off. And following Skyward Sword to trying to make up for some of that last lackluster release of Skyward Sword. Wind Waker HD came out 2.37. It's just an HD port,
But you got to remember too, it was on the Wii U, and
it was on the Wii U.
That was the best-selling game for the Wii U too, which is
that's wild.
I'm pretty sure that was the best-selling game for the Wii U.
We had a Link Between Worlds after that on the 3DS. That was 4.24, respectable for a handheld Zelda.
And that was great too. It was a really good one.
It was an amazing game. I think more people should play it, and I hope it gets ported to the Switch in some way.
That would be great. I'd love that.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's respectable for a 3D Zelda for sure.
Yeah,
then you had Majora's Mask 3D. 2D, sorry.
Yes.
Majora's Mask 3D comes out 3.43. Again, for a 3D, a remake, HD remake. HD, it wasn't HD, but for a remake for the 3DS.
It's basically a remaster.
Remastering, 3.4. That's respectable. But these are just the handheld games, and obviously it's just a port. Twilight Princess HD. Shocking to see how low that was. 1.16. That's
people don't like it like I like.
That's
it,
the superior. Well, I know, but that's the superior version in my opinion. The HD textures and the gamepad functionality, I believe, is the superior way to play.
It was on. It was on the Wii U. Nobody had one.
and then Drip, we get to this is not the Switch era. Breath of the Wild, including the Wii U version sales, but the Wii U sales probably around 2 million, including that 2 million. Breath of the Wild sold 31 to this date, a point in time, March 2023. That was your list. I'm not sure how. This is actually updated to recently because this has Tears of the Kingdom on it. 31.51 million. 31 million for Breath of the Wild.
And that's all versions.
Link's Awakening 6. Again, it's a handheld. It's on a system that's a hybrid, but it's still a remake of a handheld game. So it's 6 point. That's great. For the Switch, it's not great. For the Switch, it's for Nintendo.
That's good. That's
for
good.
Nintendo.
6 million?
Can I?
It's good.
Let me.
I mean, think about. Go look at like what Kirby games do and stuff. I mean, that's good. That's good. For what that is, it's pretty good.
I was getting there. Skyward Sword HD. Again, low. I'm surprised how low that is. I feel like
that one did surprise me. That did surprise
me. 3.9. So we'll just say 4 million. That's low.
Yeah.
For the Switch. Zelda on the Switch,
but look at the other HD remakes.
I mean, it did 4 times. It did 4 times better than Twilight Princess.
Yeah, and Wind Waker was only
it's twice as good. It was twice as good as Wind Waker HD, and 4 times better than Twilight Princess.
So as far as the HD remakes go, it's the best-selling HD remake of the 3.
I'm just surprised. I would think that game sold 10 million. That's what I would have thought. If you would have asked me, I would have said 10 million.
I think these were more hyped than the actual game, though.
I bet you they sold they sold like 200 or 2 million of those.
Oh man,
you're talking the Skyward Sword Joy-Cons for you.
Yeah, the Skyward Sword Joy-Cons. Yeah, I was more hyped about those than I was the game itself. I was pumped for the game, but I was like, oh my god, look at those Joy-Cons.
Yeah, those things are beautiful. I think they're better than the Tears of the Kingdom ones, honestly, as a Joy-Con. But
yeah, I do too.
Yeah, and then obviously we get to Tears of the Kingdom at 10 million, which obviously, if you look at the next thing closest to that, like we said, besides Breath of the Wild, original Twilight Princess, the original release at 9 million for its lifetime.
It's another dimension where we're at right now. I mean, think about that, dude. Think about that. 9 million lifetime.
Lifetime.
Tears of the Kingdom
and
dusted
that was the
in 3 days.
3 days.
3 days.
It is the Switch. You got to. It has the Switch effect too. So whether the game was good or bad, there's going to be a lot of people buying the game on Switch, regardless. Obviously, it's not bad. We knew that. I'm just saying whether it was going to be good or bad, like Pokemon, it's going to be bought.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. We talked about this earlier. I want your opinion on this. I never got your answer. Now, on these numbers here, Breath of the Wild, that's all versions.
It's all versions.
Now, I want to come back to a question that we talked about last week a little bit. We were talking about, will this game outsell Breath of the Wild?
Lifetime.
My opinion on that is slightly different at this point.
I would tend to agree with you, but you go and ask me your question.
I think this game is going to outsell Breath of the Wild.
Well, let's get to. Well, you asked me the question. Ask me the question, but also let's do prediction. I also want to do predictions of what updated predictions now that we have seen.
Here's my updated
3 days
prediction
of sales.
Because I think something's going to happen. I want your opinion on this too. You tell me if you agree or disagree. Even if, let's say, we get a Switch 2 announced at the end of this year, halfway through next year, whenever it is, I think we can assume we're probably going to get DLC for this game. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Gotta cash in on the success.
I would imagine that we would get a re-release of this game with the DLC. If we get a Switch 2, I would imagine that we get a re-release of this game somewhere very close to the launch of that system with the DLC included. And if we count all that, even with the Wii U versions, I think it's going to beat 31.5 million. I think it is. Honestly, I think the hype is there. I think it's going to be halfway there by tomorrow.
I think you could be very right. I honestly, my updated prediction is going to look like this. I think when we get the I don't know if we're going to get 1 week numbers. I don't think we will, to be honest.
We got the 3 day. You're right.
Let's just say the next thing they announce is the 1 month release. I think by the time 1 month comes around, June 12th, 2023, I think we could be looking at right around 15 to 20 million for the month. The month. And
20 million for the month?
I think we could be looking there for the month. I that's my high end guess. But my more realistic guess is 15. That's what I really think is going to happen after the end of the month. I think this game gets at least 5 million in sales boost on top of whatever it was going to do after its first 3 days because of that first 3 day hype that we saw.
We're still in the hype though. That's the thing.
Currently we are. Yeah, and we're living the hype. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in it. The internet is on fire with this game. I mean, okay, so our boy, Dude's a Monster, I streamed with him on his channel Tuesday, and he watches bigger streamers, like stuff I don't really watch, but he told me that Dr. Disrespect is on his channel talking about streaming Tears of the Kingdom. Like this is at a level, like he's not talking about streaming Pokemon.
No.
That's wild, dude. This is going to do so much for this franchise. Like I'm very excited to see where we end up.
Hey Drip, here's a question for you.
What?
Will we get a 40th anniversary, or are they going to forget that like the 35th one?
At this point, if they wow. Listen, you know how I feel about the 35th anniversary. The 35th anniversary snub.
That didn't happen. Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that. But yeah, if we go to 40, because we're almost there. Ooh, that's terrible. I don't.
We're almost there to what? We're almost there to what?
40, because you know what happens when Zelda's 40?
You're 40.
So am I. Oh, that is gross.
Yucks. I'm embarrassed for you.
Ew. Ew.
No,
ew,
but dude,
ew, ew.
no, dude. But in all seriousness, it's just incredible what we're witnessing.
It honestly
right now.
is, man.
We're currently in the middle of a tornado that's still going, and we don't know exactly where it's going to tear up.
We haven't even seen the eye of the storm. We're not even in the center yet.
No, 6 days in, and all we know is 3 days it sold 10 million. Now what we do know is, I think we know not for a fact, but we can make an assumption that it's not like it's going to sell 10 more million in the next week. But it's very possible by at least the end of the month, it could have sold an extra 10 million copies, and we could be looking at 20 million
I'm
in
telling
sales
you,
for the
I
month.
bet it's going to be close to 15 million. If it's I'm telling you right now, the hype for this game is unreal right now. I mean,
Yeah.
you know me. I get on these. I hop on TikTok, man. I get lost. I get lost in the sauce.
Yeah. Well,
Like, there is so much Tears of the it's everywhere. It's on YouTube, my entire feed. I mean, every time I open my browser to do anything, if there's any news, anything, I mean, it's always, and I know it's catered to me.
Yeah.
But like usually there's a variety of things. You know what I mean? There's not a variety of things. I mean, it is Tears of the Kingdom. Everything. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy to see where this goes.
It is. Man, I lost my train of thought, but it's just no, you're good. You're good. It's my bad. It's just I can't enough. Oh, I was going to say this. Last week we were talking about this. I talked to you about the record store I went into, and the guy who was there was a Zelda guy, and I asked him if he was going to buy the game. He's like, maybe, I don't know. Not a release day. Got to see what's up first.
Yeah.
These are the people I was talking about.
People, yes.
These people who's like, I got to see what's up first. I think it's expensive.
That's our next.
We'll talk about that
next 4 days.
Next week is going to be a long podcast. I predict if our buddy's got some time, all things Zelda. But if he's got some time, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff next week. Yeah. But one thing I'll touch on this week is, I've lost my train of thought again. Where was I going with that?
I don't know. I hope you get it back.
I do. I hope I do too. I've lost my train of thought. Well, I'll just say this: the people who bought or people who are on the fence like that, there are so many of those people who are like, I was going for the price thing. Listen, it's $10 more. That's off-put a lot of people. The content in this game. This is what I was going to say.
There's 2.5 maps in the game.
The content in this game is. And this is the argument I was trying to make this whole time before I knew there was an entire map underground. And the content in this game is they're gonna make it worth your while. Breath of the Wild should have been $100 game, and this game should have been $100 game. Like I get where people are coming from. I get it, but most games that are $60, they're not 50-hour games. They're probably like 25.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what they're saying. Like the main story. If you're running through it and doing everything you have to do just to get through.
Yeah.
What did they say? 49 hours.
Yes. Dude, it's insane. It's insane. It's
hundreds and hundreds of hours after that.
Don't quote me on this, but what is the God of Wars and the Horizon Forbidden Wests of the world and PlayStation Land, those great games that are also $70. Even when they were 60, aren't those like 25-hour games, 30-hour games, which is respectable, right?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. I can't.
Let's just say that they're 50. Let's just be generous and say that they're 50, because those games are not open world games like this. At least Horizon is. But,
yeah, it is. Yeah,
but God of War is not. Let's just say that's a 50-hour game, all story, 50-hour game. No open world, and it's just all story. Like just the story in Tears of the Kingdom is 50 hours. And then there's an entire other game besides the story.
Oh, yeah, there's so much stuff to do.
People are just upset with the performance and the graphics. I get it.
We didn't even touch on that.
No, we didn't, because it's not worth it's not worth.
I mean,
we know
there are frame rate issues.
Of course there is. Of course there is. Have you played a Switch game? Every Switch game has Switch. Okay, you know what I mean.
That ain't true. True.
What I mean?
This game is pushing the Switch to its absolute limits.
Every game
is pushing it.
Every game may not have performance issues, but every game has a sacrifice. There's a sacrifice in every Switch game. There is a sacrifice of some level.
There has to be. I mean,
because there has to be. And in Tears of the Kingdom, the sacrifice is lower frame rates and lower resolution than it would be if it was on something like a PS5 or a PlayStation. I'm sorry, a PS5 or Xbox. That's the sacrifice. It's low. Is it unplayable? God, no. But the internet will make you think that. Because if it doesn't run 60 or 120, and if it doesn't run at 1080p or 4K with those frame rates, people are going to tell you that's unplayable. And these people I will just say, are dumb fucks. I've made up my own term.
100%. Yep.
I refer to these people as dumb fucks.
Now, you didn't make that up. I say that all the time.
These dumb fucks think that if a game doesn't run well, doesn't matter how good the game is. If a game sucks, listen,
Geeb is sassy tonight.
There are
Look
plenty of Steam games you can get for your PC right now that run 4K, 120, and they fucking suck. Okay. But they'll play them and go, well, I see the niceness about this game. I see that it really encapsulated me with this turd I polished. But those dumb fucks think that that's good because it runs well. And I'm here to tell you that coming from that world, I was in that world who played PC games exclusively, and I played Call of Duties of the world of the past. I was an Xbox 360 guy. That was like the power console of the day, right?
Nerd.
Before the PS3 came out.
Nerd. Sorry.
That was the power thing, okay? And listen, I was in that world. And I lived both lives. I walked both lines, okay? And I'm here to tell you who's someone who's walked both lives and respects both sides. I respect people, not people. I hate those people. I respect the games that are all about performance because those games are cool, man. They're cool.
Yeah, they look great.
They are
They're
cool.
awesome.
They look great and they're cool.
They are.
And even the games that are specifically made to look cool and not be a good game. They're just made to look and run great. I respect those games because they're fucking cool. But then you look at Switch stuff, and if all you know is that really well performed games, and you play a Switch game, you're like, this sucks. And that I would just call you a dumb fuck. Again, I've said how many times I'm gonna mark this one explicit, and it's gonna be worth it.
Okay. Well, now hold on. Now listen, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
But I do want to say this as someone like you who has come from that side of 60, 120 frames.
It runs at 51 frames.
Now,
this is unacceptable.
That's fine. That's cool. Like, I'm down with that. Like, I got a PS5. Like, I'm down with that. Like, Spider-Man, Miles Morales looks sick. Like,
yeah,
everything I run on the PS5 looks pretty damn good. I mean, most of it. But
Fallen Order or not?
That's
Fallen
not.
Order.
That's the thing that the people who come from that area who don't know the Nintendo stuff. That's where they lose touch with what it is because it's not about that. It's fine. That's cool, but
it's a problem with the gaming industry, dude. It's a problem with the whole.
This is something special, dude. Like this might be, and I know we're in the hype, but I want to be very clear about this. I am saying this with my hype goggles off, and I already flushed them down the toilet. They're gone. They are not here. This might be one of the best video games ever made. And I don't think it's a stretch to say that at this point. I
was willing to say that for Breath of the Wild. Maybe not the best.
I have not finished it. This is one of the top maybe 2 or 3 video games that have ever been made.
I mean, off the top of the dome,
it's not because of the frame rate. It's not because of the resolution. No. It's because of what it's the substance of the game. It's what's in the game. And what are we? We're 30 hours, and we've been taking our time with this story. It's not like we're jumping into that 49 hour trying to get there fast.
No.
What's it going to take us to beat this game, you think? You and me. 60? 70 hours?
I would say around 70.
Okay.
For me. I'm already at 45.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm not as far. You've been going and exploring. I've done 2 dungeons. I'm done with the dungeons for a little bit. I'm going to do other things. Like that's my. But I can tell you right now, with what I've played of this game and what I've seen and what I know, this is going to go down as one of the greatest video games ever. And I really honestly don't think it's a stretch to say that at all. And, no. I mean, anybody here can disagree with me if they want. I would love to have that conversation in the after show. I will back that up all day.
I'm going to fight you. If you come with that argument, I'm going to fight you. We're going to argue in the comments. Let's do that.
Well,
in the after
I'll
show.
argue too, because I got...
Not you, sure. I'm talking about the people.
No,
who
I'm saying, yeah, it's fine.
That Tears Kingdom's DLC or whatever the fuck they want to talk about.
Might be the best Zelda game.
Sassy Jeep tonight.
I think it might be the best. I'm telling you, this might be one of the best games overall.
Hey, Drip, before we get off here, are you going to say, you're going to say it eventually, but are you going to say it tonight? Your new number one? You salty. It's
not yet. I haven't finished.
Salty.
I will wait until I finish the story.
Twilight Princess fan.
I will wait until I finish the story until I make my decision.
You don't need to
say this right now.
I will say this.
I will say this.
You don't need to.
I will say this.
You're not ready, but you'll be ready.
It has jumped Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild has been pushed back to 3.
Oh, so good. So good.
It's 2 right now. We'll wait.
I'm Twilight Princess hater. I'm not Hari. I'm not a hater Twilight Princess.
Yeah, I can't.
My second favorite
agree.
Zelda game.
Jeeves judging it before seeing the. I can't wait. I can't not wait. I have to see the end before I make this decision, because that is the one thing that I love about Twilight Princess is the atmosphere, the story, everything about that game as a whole. After I played it is why I love it. I can't make that decision right now until I've seen where this goes.
Hari, I did. You're right. I did not beat Twilight Princess. I still haven't beat Tears of the Kingdom. But listen. Do you need to eat an entire meal, the every bite, before you know if it tastes good?
Yeah, I mean, especially if you haven't tasted the dessert yet.
No.
Oh, so you're gonna have the appetizer, most of the main course, and not have dessert, and you're gonna judge it. You're gonna judge the meal as a whole without even trying the creme brulee.
Who's to say I haven't tried
the cheesecake?
It yet? Who's to say I haven't tried it yet?
Well,
I haven't finished it.
You haven't finished the game.
I did not finish it, but I've tried it.
Where are you at in the game?
Tears of
Breath of the Wild, Twilight Princess. Yeah, where are you at?
I don't remember now. I mean, I've got 35 hours in that game.
Yeah. You're not there yet, though. You go to
I know I'm
Sky
not there
Temple.
yet.
You go to Sky Temple yet? You up in the sky?
You haven't,
the Twilight
beat
area
the
or whatever it
game,
is?
so you don't know exactly if it.
Listen, I'm not a fucking reviewer. If I was reviewing the game, I'd play the whole thing.
But I'm telling you, the story of that game, you have not finished, and that is where I.
Do I need to look this up? Do I need to? I don't mind looking up the story of Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't know when the next time I'm going to play that. When I'm going to finish that game is. I'll just fucking look it up.
Go find like a recap.
I'll watch
of
the
it.
cutscenes. I'll watch the cutscenes.
I'm sure you can find a good recap. Somebody who at least like
to shut all you guys up. To shut you all up. I'll entertain it and I'll watch the ending on YouTube. Okay.
Not the ending. You have to know the whole thing.
I've seen 35 hours of it. I'll pick up from where I left off on my playthrough to shut y'all up, because this has got not only is Breath of the Wild better than Twilight Princess, but now Tears of the Kingdom is already surpassed. And Breath of the Wild is different is better for different reasons. It's not because the story's better, because all you guys hung up on Twilight Princess, all you're hung up on is how good the story is. But there are so many more layers to a game than the story. I'm sorry, there's just too many glaring problems with the game. And it doesn't get a pass because it's old. That's not how it works. If you're racist in 2023 because you were racist in 1995, you don't get a pass because I come from a racist time. You're just still a racist.
If you're 96 and senile, sometimes you get a pass.
Sometimes. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. I like the game. I played it. It's my third favorite Zelda game that I played. And I played like 6 or 7.
Okay, well, it's my favorite, and it is because of everything as a whole. So it's whatever. Listen, I am going to listen. Right now, I'm fighting for reasons to keep my favorite game, because I love that game. But the reasons are becoming less and less and less the further I get into this one.
You've already admitted your own bias. You have a bias to the game, which is the only point I'm trying to make here, is that all you Twilight Princess fans are just biased to Twilight Princess.
Because I love it.
I get it. But
okay,
I'm not biased in that way. What you're talking about is
my opinion. Hold on. Wait, stop. But you're asking me what my favorite Zelda game is.
Yeah.
My favorite. So bias is not in this conversation because there's only one person involved in this list. It's me. So yes, obviously that plays a part in it. But to me, those things make that my favorite game. To me. And I love it. Now, like I said, this game is giving me every time I play it, an hour more. I get a little bit more story. I get a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that. It's making those reasons go away.
I just look at the next newest thing and I go, that's the shiniest. I love that. That's exactly who I am. Clearly, you got me pegged perfectly, Alex and Hari. Perfect. With that, we'll end the episode. I'll yell at you guys some more in the after show. Sorry, audio listeners. This is the nature of our society right now. It's how polarized. You're making me choose a side here because you've chosen a side.
I don't want you to choose a side.
I'm trying to make the point that I don't want to choose a side when it comes to Twilight Princess.
All I'm doing is defending mine because you're attacking mine.
Yeah.
I'm just here holding my
I'm not
walls down.
attacking. This is not an attack. It's not
I
an
saw
attack.
a rock. I saw a rock fly over my wall, and the only person standing outside those walls, Geeb, was you. Who threw that rock? Who was it? Are you gonna point back there?
As
It
an
wasn't
American,
him.
you've assaulted my freedom as an American.
You have. And I will throw this rock that you threw at me back at you.
Audio people, I love you. Stream
Yes.
people, well, I hate you. We're talking to you. I'll talk to you in a second. Catch you guys later.
Peace.
What's the button? Oh, for fuck. This is the button.